Hey, it looks like we're live. Okay, folks, you know the drill here. We're just gonna let this build for 2 minutes. I've got show notes and everything today of all things. So I've got a really fast report I need to give out. So build for 2 minutes. I've got show notes and everything today. Oh, there it is, folks. I got show notes and everything. So, anyways, I did run this on 2 channels today. So I'm trying to get that up. Wow. Hi, Gary from Elira, Ohio. I actually know where that is. I used to have to go out to Ohio and do meetings. So, folks, if you're catching this late, it'll be about the 3-minute mark before we get into the news. I just let this build up a little bit so we can get a few people on. So thanks so much. Michigan's in the house. We got Tennessee. Chime in with where you're from. Please do smash that like on the way in. It really does help to increase the distribution, especially with something like this. This is a really good report. I didn't know how to title this, though, so it's not all that catchy, but it's really good. And I put some time into this today here, just trying to pull some different stories. Fortunately, my family is actually gone, fortunately or unfortunately. New York, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, North Hampshire, or is that New Hampshire? New York, Sarasota, Texas, Austin, Texas. Wow, like you're living the dream down there with all the lefties. All right, we got New York City, Oregon. Oh, quick, I have to do one more thing over here. There's always so much to do before you get a stream going, and we'll see if we can pull this up. But no, it's so my family is gone. And they went down to visit Grandma, so here I am by myself. So I had a little time here today. It's when you've got 6 kids still at home. I'm telling you, folks, that's it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time and whatnot. So I just had to go in and adjust one more thing in the settings here, and then I will have this stream started. Again, if you're joining this. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Afghanistan debacle, actually a lot about the Afghanistan debacle, not a little. We're going to be discussing it at length. I have pulled from a number of sources, and these sources are good, and it merges a story together, okay? I'm just adjusting one more thing in the settings, and there it is. Okay, so we got that done, that done. And all right, folks. So here's the question. We actually were winning in the Middle East. ISIS was in retreat and so on. Thanks, Pennsylvania. You've got big things going on out there. I just talked to David Jose about what's going on in Pennsylvania. I'm going to have to do some of that over on locals. And then, it's I don't know. It's nuts out there. We gotta get people united, and more importantly, people have to get doing the work, because the work is what makes the big difference. Okay, folks, it is the work that we need done. Okay, so for those of you watching on my backup channel, Lumberjack Logic, thank you so much. I've got to get that. I've been a little negligent on that channel, but it's busy with the show season and everything. So here we go. Getting into the report, folks. Let me just pull up my notes. I will be sharing a screen here with you. So I'm going to get the screen share going also. And we're going to go like this and this. Okay, so we're getting to that screen. And then I'm going to hit share and share screen. And let's see, we're going to Afghanistan crisis. All right, so there we go. All right, folks. Okay, so, I need to scroll us up here so we can get up to the top of this. This article is amazing. Anyways, but look, folks, let's just, before we get rolling, Biden doesn't scare the Taliban, right? There were like no U.S. troop deaths for how many months? ISIS was in retreat. And now, look, folks, we've been defeated. Not defeated in a military sense. We have capitulated. Complete capitulation. The largest industrial war power on the planet has been defeated by a small force using abandoned Soviet crap, homemade crap, and now the Taliban is emboldened and people are getting beaten. Of the thousands that have been evacuated, only a small percentage of those have been American citizens. And we are now bending over backwards to the Afghanistan folks and leaving Americans behind. And I'm going to show you specifically through this report. You would have to show mad respect to these people, right? If it wasn't because of the capitulator in chief who occupies the White House, it's hardly due to some amazing ability of the Taliban folks. But they are calling the shots now. Leave by August 31st or else. Okay, or else what? They are already not honoring their commitments as proven by this article out of the Daily Mail that I'm going to take you to right now. Okay? Good night, these ads. I hate these ads. Okay, I really do. I just, Okay, so here, let me get this. See if I can close that out for you. Okay. So much for Joe's threats. Taliban ignore Biden's demand to let civilians into Kabul airport, and Westerners are beaten. U.S. airlifts more than 19K in 24 hours as desperate Afghans cause a stampede at the airport among fears of an ISIS-K attack. Desperate Afghans waded through sewage at the Kabul airport. I'll show you some pictures of that in a last-ditch effort to escape Taliban rule. Evacuees say they have been attacked by the Taliban and prevented from getting to Kabul airport. The reports emerged less than 24 hours after President Biden said the Taliban needed to let people leave. Okay, because he's tough and they scare him. Please do smash that like, folks. I want this report to get out because there's so much in it. Fears are growing that crowds could try to storm the airport or the opportunistic terrorists will launch an attack. Fears that will only grow as troop numbers dwindle. Okay, those not already at airport now have little chance of escape as Taliban stops all Afghan citizens reaching it. Members of the GOP said on Tuesday night that Biden has blood on his hands because of who is left behind. Yeah, what, like Lindsey Graham calling for, impeachment? When what help has he been? I've got a report I'm going to do later on that today. Taliban has warned President Biden there will be no extension to the August 31st evacuation deadline. Since when does a small ragtag band tell the world's most powerful army what to do, unless they are led by a complete wuss or there's something more to it, folks? And we're going to ask those questions as well. The two congressmen who traveled to Kabul witnessed the chaos, said we won't get everyone out on time. I'm going to show you a piece on that. Pentagon commanders have also warned of Islamic State offshoot called ISIS-K who are targeting planes, and Afghanistan's former interior minister claims the Taliban are killing innocent children in power consolidation. Okay, they missed the T on there. Thousands converged on Kabul airport. The U.S. ramped up the airlifts, evacuated 19,000 people. Remember, folks, these are not all American citizens. Get that down. These are not all American citizens. I'm going to get into that. Have already started pulling out military forces, which is 6 days until the deadline, which Biden has promised to stick to, because, you got to promise terrorists you're going to do the work for them. Please do smash that like, folks, okay? But the Taliban has ignored the president's threats and are beating up people trying to leave, according to reports, and both Democrat and Republican lawmakers have said there isn't enough time to get everyone out. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here. Senator Lindsey Graham question, how could we create a deadline that is a death sentence to those who fought along our side? Lindsey, shut up, okay? Look at this, okay? This is an Australian citizen, okay? He's been abused, obviously, assaulted. Here's the ditch, folks, that they were crawling. This is a sewage ditch, trying to get out of there, okay? Desperate Afghans waded through the sewage ditch on the outskirts of Kabul airport this morning while pleading with soldiers guarding the opposite bank to put them on a plane out of the country as time runs out to flee Taliban rule. Okay, look at all this going on. Look at the trash they're wading through. Okay, here's some still pictures of this guy. Okay, and there's other people. Ted Cruz accused Biden of claiming Afghanistan is some great diplomatic achievement on Twitter Wednesday. Obviously, it is no achievement at all. The White House revealed today that over the last 24 hours, 42 American flights dealt with the bulk of evacuations, transporting 11,200 from Kabul, meaning the U.S. evacuated and facilitated the evacuation of approximately 87,900 people on U.S. military and coalition flights since the end of July. Folks, who are these people? Who are these people? Okay, I'm going to show you another alarming report, okay? What bothers the administration, this is the crazy thing, what bothers the administration the most is not the death and beatings of Americans and allies, or Iran going on the offensive, or the billions of dollars of top-notch military equipment now in the hands of the enemy. No, folks, it's the exposure. Check this out of the New York Post. Oh, I grabbed the wrong. Oh, there it is. Okay. They are so upset because two members of Congress, one a Democrat, the other a GOP rep, made secret trips to Afghanistan, angering U.S. officials. Look at this. Two members of Congress caused quite a stir when they made an unannounced trip to Afghanistan on Tuesday to witness the evacuation operation at Kabul National Airport firsthand, reporting upon their return that no matter what we do, we will not get everyone out on time. Rep. Seth Moulton and Peter Meijer infuriated White House, Pentagon, and State Department officials who accused them of using vital resource in the midst of the chaotic American withdrawal. Oh, now they're concerned about resources when they're going to try and pass a $3.5 trillion bill. Do you see the hypocrisy here, folks? They're going to pass this 3.5, and they got to pull people out to do that when they can't put their focus on Afghanistan. There should be no greater focus of this administration and the Congress right now. Okay, I know there's other things, folks. You know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking right now. American lives are on the line. You don't screw this up. You don't screw this up, man. This is the most important thing, okay, in the immediate. Okay, I know, folks. Don't sit there and argue with me on this. I'm sure some of you will, because I know some of the things that we know are important. Okay, but right now, when you have a humanitarian crisis and the ability to save American lives, there is no greater role of the federal government than securing our borders and protecting American lives. That is the job of the federal government. Okay, it is not wokeness. It's not, spending, trying to get a $3.5 trillion piece of crap bill through to put us further in debt, further in the tank to the world powers that be. Okay. Anyways, I go on. Sorry, a little. Okay. Reps Moulton is a Democrat out of Massachusetts, and Meijer, Republican out of Michigan, warned in a joint statement, won't get everyone out on time. As members of Congress, we have a duty. Here's the thing. We have a duty to provide oversight, and they do. On the executive branch, the two said, we conducted this visit in secret, speaking about it only after our departure to minimize the risk and disruption to the people on the ground because we were there to gather information, not to grandstand. The two lawmakers, both military veterans and members of the House Armed Services Committee, remained at Hamid Karzai International Airport for several hours after arriving on a military flight from the United Arab Emirates. After returning to the U.S., Moulton posted on Twitter about the trip and blasted the Biden administration for its treatment of the military who are carrying out the evacuation operation, ferrying thousands of Americans and Afghans outside the country every day. Please do smash that like, folks. Just take a quick moment and just go down there. There's a little thumbs up thing. Click it. Thanks. Washington should be ashamed of the position we put our service members in, but they represent the best in America. These men and women have been run ragged and are still running strong. Their empathy and dedication to duty are truly inspiring. Moulton also said he and Meijer talked to military commanders on the ground and came to a grim realization. Okay, now you can see all this. I'm not going to go on. What the administration is ticked off about, folks, is the exposure. Okay, and here I want to just see if there's any comments I got to get to real quick here, folk. Yes, Teresa, that is the other big issue, okay? But right now, immediately for the federal government, the biggest issue is getting American citizens out of there. This whole thing is a big shite show, okay? If you know Deutsch, if you know sprechen Sie Deutsch, yeah? This is ein Scheißshow, okay? It is, folks, this is nuts, okay? Now, here's the question. If they're so concerned about resources, why don't they repatriate our military equipment or go grab the massive pallets of cash if they're worried about resources? Good night. Cash and military hardware that's been left behind. It's freaking nuts. And on top of all that, the border crisis is still in full swing, folks. But the Afghans don't even need to cross the southern border anymore because the administration will just fly them in. Hell, heck, they're flying people in from the southern border. And they don't need visas. Their identity can remain a mystery. I'm going to show you another report, folks. This one out of the Hill. DHS to allow some Afghans to enter U.S. without formal visas. I hate the Hill. They have so many ads running. I'm sorry. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is using his parole authority to allow some Afghan evacuees to enter the states while they wait for their applications to be processed, a senior administration official told reporters on Tuesday. The official said that in some instances, Mayorkas is using his parole authority to allow special immigrant visa applicants who are in the pipeline but who haven't completed the application process to potentially be given parole. So let me ask you this. Are we going to ship in some more terrorists here now? Honestly, folks, this is insane, okay? The Secretary of Homeland Security is using his parole authority, including his ability to impose particular conditions of parole on those arriving, to ensure that those who are reaching here are doing so, obviously, with the appropriate legal status. No, that's the opposite of making sure they have the appropriate legal status. Those who are granted parole would need to first pass a rigorous security check the Biden administration is undertaking for Afghans seeking entry to the U.S., the administration. Yes, like we saw those cargo planes loaded up with all the young 20 to 30-something males. Come on! Is anybody buying this crap? Here. They knew this before they elected him, folks. I've got to share this with you, okay? And I forwarded it, so you didn't have to watch the whole thing. I mean, this whole thing is good. It's on Rumble from Truth Be Told.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Sounds corny. Not a joke. Think about it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. I just can't figure the guy. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way.
I tell you what, I'm so darn proud. And those poor people who have lost, anyway. Hello, everyone. I'm coming directly to you for ask a quick favor. We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. We can only reelect Donald Trump.
Amen.
I'm also the only guy that got assault weapons banned, and the number of clips in a gun banned. Play the radio. Make sure the television. Make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
Well, the fortunate thing is I didn't have many larger contributors, and the only reason, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son.
Ha! I was ready to prostitute myself. Oh, my gosh. This was all out before the election. Do you know, folks, here, I want you guys to know something. I understand. I like Rush Limbaugh said before he passed away, and I always remember this broadcast. It was so good. He said, people, you need to understand retail politics as we know it is dead. He said, there are people who wanted this. And he said, now I haven't gone off the rails. Okay. He still believed. Okay. But he said, there was still a large number of people who voted for socialism and communism. It looks like so many of you enjoyed that. I'm going to actually give you guys some more clips. Most of these, again, are before the election.
I'm ready on day one after more than 3 years in office. Why isn't Donald Trump ready? Mr. President, wake up. I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth. $1.4 trillion worth. Out of $1.4 billion, $1.4 billion. It's hard to even say it, it's so much. And by the way, it's cost a lot of money. It cost about $740 billion over 10 years.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. My name is Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though, okay? Good afternoon, everyone. As Lily already indicated, I'm Joe Biden's husband, Joe Biden.
This is Sarah Haynes in Hot Topics.
Hey, I'm going to stop it. Teresa, you're not going to over here, Teresa. You'll find people talking about it. I talk about it on Locals. CanCon's had just a smashing report last night. Phenomenal. Okay. He's on Locals. You know, I don't know what you people are expecting. You're not going to get it over here. You just get canceled. Okay. I find it so interesting that people have not figured this out yet. Okay. If you want that type of reporting, you're not getting it here. I mean, really, all you do is get canceled. Okay. You know, there's plenty of places to get it. I want you to know that.
Talked about Trump saying the government would reassess the recommended period for keeping businesses shut and people at home. Are you at all concerned, as Trump said, that we cannot let the cure be worse than the problem itself?
We have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what. China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They can't even figure out how to deal with the fact that they have this great division between the China Sea and the mountains in the east. I mean, in the west. I mean, you know, they're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not competition for us. Pick up your phones. Pick up your phone now. Send a text to the word United to the number 30330. Okay, that's United. 30330 or 303-330 or BOO. Wait. You got it. It's on the back there.
If elected, you would turn 82 at the end of your first term. You'd be the oldest president in American history. Are you willing?
Churchill.
Are you willing to commit
Winston Churchill.
American.
Yes. Are you?
I was joking. That was a joke. What are we doing? What are we doing? We should make sure that we have no one going to jail for a drug offense. They go directly mandatory prison. Mandatory treatment, not prison. By strengthening. To conquer devastating diseases like cancer and addiction and Alzheimer's. By the way, this is my little sister Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh no, you switched on me.
You guys remember this one?
They switched on me. If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight. Nominated Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, and a Biden-Obama Democrat. Join us. You know, the rapidly rising I don't know. I can hardly wait to debate him on stage. I want people to see me standing next to him and him standing next to me. We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you. Thanks for your time. Please come back in less than 13 years, sir.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
Chris. I just did Chris. No, I just did Chuck. I tell you what, man, these are back to back. Anyway, I'm
No, this one's good.
That Obama coalition. I come out of the black community in terms of my support. If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus. The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
No,
my point is,
that's not true. The other one is true.
Here we go.
We're leading to a standard that we provide.
Anyways, folks, I'm done with him. I can't anymore. We're not dealing with somebody who's got, if he only had a brain, he doesn't. Folks, I did pin. I want you to know I pinned my my Locals up above. And I want to really encourage you folks to follow CanCon on Locals. He puts a lot of time into his reports. I mean, I got 7 kids and I'm running art shows like mad right now, and I have not had as much time. I'll just be real honest with you. I would, it just is what it is. I got to get through the winter. I got to make my money and whatnot. And then I've kind of been neglecting my family. So I I've got to take my kid fishing. He's been begging for that. I got to take my daughter on a date. She's been begging for that. I like many of you, you're wondering, like what do we do? And folks, I did a quick thing yesterday, but I believe our three biggest problems are apathy. Okay. It's what was it? It was a good report. Anyways, apathy is one of them. And then lack of critical thinking is another big one. So if you can kind of just try and wake people up or keep people encouraged, you've got to do that. I was at the gas pump yesterday. For those who heard this story, I'm going to tell it one more time. I'm filling up with diesel. The guy is a business owner driving his truck. You would think if anybody would be concerned about this, it would be him. And I talked to him and I said, how's it going? He goes, oh, how's it going for you? And I said, well, it's going fine. I said, I'm really getting tired of the news cycle. And he said, yeah. He said, I quit watching the news. I just, kind of like blissful ignorance. And I said, he said, oh yeah, it just makes my life so much better. I said, it only makes it better until they come knocking on your door. I said, it only makes it better until the whole thing falls apart. Okay. And he's looking at me, doesn't know what to say. And I said, let me ask you a question. I said, you at least know about Afghanistan, right? And he said, yes. And I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, why? Everybody knew that would happen, right? I mean, you would know if you just pull everybody out that it would go wrong like that. And he said, yeah. I said, so they knew it was going to happen. I said, so then the question is, I said, if they knew and they did it, why did they did it? So here's the real questions, folks. Who is running things right now? Really? It obviously isn't Joe. He cannot walk up the stairs or complete a sentence. He is not running anything. Okay? So why has all this been allowed? What did the powers what did they stand to gain, whoever is behind this? And then is this the fulfillment of end times prophecies in the Bible? We could be at that point. And folks, I'm telling you, get ready. If you're not ready, get ready. Because if this is the end, you better get right with Jesus now. And I'm not saying that lightly. He loves you and he wants to know you. So I just, this is exactly. Okay. So again, folks, you're going to have to go to other places. I did pin my locals up above. We do cover that stuff over there. It's not going to happen here. It just won't. You're going to have to. And I feel sometimes like I'm babysitting patriots, telling them that they have to go. Well, I don't want to. I just like you. It's like, gosh, people. I'll cover what I can over here, and I'll try and get you to the information. I've heard Susan Rice. Okay, I've heard that. I saw an interesting article on that. I've heard Obama. I've heard China. Okay. There's also the global banker group. I mean, that cabal, it's nuts. Okay. And to Dot's point, we just may be here. Okay. Revival or rapture. I don't see a middle ground at this point anymore, folks. We are either going to see revival, so try and go for revival, or there's going to be a rapture. We're coming to the end. But all of this stuff is there, and what we have is an incurious press. I have some contacts, obviously, at this point that I've developed, but some of these people in big mainstream press have really serious contacts deep within intelligence agencies and things of that nature, and they are not using them to get the truth out at all. Okay. So there's all types of thoughts on this, and I don't know what the answer is, folks. I just want you to know. Yeah, right. I don't know what the answer is. And, you know, it's like with all the personalities out there. I don't know these people, so I don't know what to say. I did have a great conversation with Dave Jose yesterday. He was telling me some interesting things. Again, there's so much to look into here, folks, but I love you all. I just wanted to get this report out quick, and hope you all have a great day, okay? Peace out, all right?